I haven't heard any details whatsoever about in this situation, but apparently, freaking 4chan itself has been taken down. I don't even understand. I can't even begin to understand how exactly that works. Like, was it the? Why are they going down? Is it like a loss of faith in the network at this point? Did they get people's like IP addresses? Like what?
Do we even know who is this 4chan?
It's freaking 4chan
person or website.
No, it's like isn't it? I thought it was like a forum, like to be like intended to be anonymous in every way, shape, and form. No, it wasn't like the whole kind of.
And I'm sure we're gonna be able to get some more confirmation on this as the hours and minutes go on. He may have been just a system administrator who knew his way around and how to hack things.
That right there is an internet classic. The hacker known as
4chan. Yeah, it's not a freaking hacker. It's not a person.
4chan. But far beyond the memes or the absurdity of a national news outlet like CNN thinking that the internet message board is somehow an individual person, 4chan is actually a sort of digital community with very real societal impact. Initially formed in 2003, 4chan has been the hub for a significant number of high-profile events. Using a metaphor here, as a result of its anonymity in particular, 4chan is kind of like bedrock internet foundation, if you will. Things that happen here often proliferate to other websites or have broader impact on separate platforms, with a few examples being the hacktivist collective Anonymous, which was initially formed and fostered on 4chan, the notorious meme Pepe the Frog, which may not have been first created on 4chan, but certainly became a sort of mascot for the website, as well as everything from pop culture events like Gamergate, the famous boogeyman, all the way to celebrity explicit photo dumps, which make national news, which either occurred on, were fostered by, or gained momentum because of 4chan. Depending on who you ask, 4chan is...
It quite literally is, like, the root of all internet trolls. In a good way. You get me? It's like, this is like, it's kind of like, if all people who existed, and I'm considering myself too, right? Like, if all trolls on the internet, like, had an origin point, you know, even if it was like, even if you were born on Reddit or something because you were created by another troll, that troll came from 4chan. You get me? It's like all ancestral internet lines lead back to 4chan.
anything from a simple troll pit to a cyber hellscape that should be immediately shut down by the government. But despite individual opinions, the website has persisted for over 2 decades with a dedicated and substantial user base. Except that may have just permanently changed, because 4chan, resulting from a colossal breach of the website's infrastructure, is currently offline, and the level of severity here is such that when the site returns, it will have a long, very slow, and likely extremely costly road ahead of it. That is, if it ever wants to function in the same way ever again. So,
okay, now that right there is the part I'm confused at. How did this hack mess them up so bad that this is, like, a financial burden now? Like, what the frick, huh?
What happened? Well, it's a little bit complicated, but I'll do my best to explain the basic history. If anyone has deeper knowledge of this, by the way, feel free to chime in down below in the comment section. I'm certainly not an expert on deep 4chan
Brother, I'm coming to you for the deeper knowledge. How you gonna ask me?
lore, but for the most part, it's fairly easy to summarize, I think. Over the years, 4chan has created various different splinter communities, I'll call them. For one reason or another, various groups will split off, form rival message boards, or find separate areas to congregate and discuss things amongst themselves. And one of those groups was called Soyjack Party. It's actually the remnants of a different board, which was permanently locked on 4chan after raiding another community and just being overall disruptive on the site. Apparently, someone in this rival community, Soyjack Party, gained access to 4chan's back-end infrastructure because it turned out the website ran on completely antiquated software. 4chan had not received updates, especially to its security, since something like 2016, almost a decade ago.
How is this the first time someone's hacking it then?
And because you can upload PDF files to certain message boards on the website, while the site does not check if those are in fact legitimate PDF files, the hacker was able to upload a PostScript file, which contained commands, and then with a variety of additional exploits, it's a little bit more complicated than I want to go into right now, permissions could be escalated, thus granting full access to the website files. As far as this...
Now, even though I definitely would not be able to explain it with any ounce of legitimacy, I from watching other YouTube videos about other previous hack attempts and hack attacks and other stuff like that, I've seen this kind of stuff been done, and I think even Chaos and I, like, we would typically talk about stuff like this. We watch all those, like, DEFCON, like, hack, like, videos and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Story goes, the hacker was able to gain
like, all that stuff
access
that
and
Thor's
then
into.
chose to lay dormant
Pirate
for over
software.
a year before finally pulling the trigger in something that they called Operation Soy Clips. But when they did,
Oh, wait, so he left that in there?
access and then chose to lay dormant for over a year before finally pulling the trigger in something that they called Operation Soy Clips. But when they did, the results were catastrophic. The entire source code of 4chan has allegedly been leaked to the public. But far more damaging than that, all of the website moderators, administrators, and janitors, Jannies, which is the lower level moderation team who is unpaid, had their usernames and email addresses as well as their IP addresses leaked, which led to a
Damn! Damn! Okay, that's where it... Okay. I thought it was fully anonymous. I didn't think you needed any of that stuff to become an admin.
doxing campaign by Soyjack Party, which is currently, as of the scripting of this video at least, affecting pretty much the entire 4chan leadership core. Among the leaked files were private staff discussions, confidential reasons for various bans, as well as moderation tools, but the real damage is that the website cannot easily fix this problem. The entire infrastructure is built on deprecated material, and with the core leadership now subjected to whatever harassment, doxing, and trolling that the wider community decides to throw at them, which is far from negligible, by the way. 4chan moderation staff are not the most popular people, even inside their own community. Efforts to stabilize are likely significantly hindered right now. Here's where it gets funny. Often viewed as a
I gotta imagine, right now a lot of people getting revenge on those mods.
prolific source of disinformation and, more specifically, trolling, as a result of the fact that anyone can post whatever they want without the need to ever make an account on the website. Even during its demise, 4chan is the source of widespread deception. Here's an example. This is a post on Twitter, which has 3.4 million views so far, and it's far from the only one, there's many more just like it, which claims that inside the leaked material is a complete accounting of the geographic location for all 4chan posts. The claim is that most of the material or content originates in Israel, and considering the fact that IP addresses were also part of the breach, having a list break down all of it by region could be plausible. Here's the thing though, this is a fake image from an entirely separate website, which is not only outdated, it's also doctored. The stats being
Oh damn. Oh damn!
shown come from a site called 4plebs, not 4chan, and Israel isn't even close to the top of the chart in terms of how many posts originate there. All over social media now, the demise of 4chan has somehow become a lightning rod for all these claims that
Is the site down though? How come you're using the
are
Wayback
close to
Machine?
the top of the chart in terms of how many
December 24th, 2020.
posts originate there. All over social media now, the demise of 4chan has somehow become a lightning rod for all these claims that Israel controlled the community, despite the basis for that claim being entirely fabricated, and it definitely doesn't stop there. Another
People are really weird right now with Israel. A lot of people are really weird with that whole situation right now.
widespread allegation, which is being repeated as fact by a very
Israel is the new Obama. Anything bad that happens is Israel's fault.
large number of people right now, is that among the email addresses leaked by the hacker, there are .edu, as in university or college email addresses, and .gov, government emails, tied to administrators and moderators. Yeah, if you go actually find the list, it's out there, but I'm obviously not going to show it right now. It's about 200 private email addresses and usernames. There are three, count them three, .edu addresses and zero, literally zero, .gov emails.
Again, lo and behold, people just lie on the internet because they feel like it. I feel like lying on the internet has become like breathing oxygen lately. Never trust any of it, ever, even from the people on your side.
The claim that the feds ran 4chan, and we know because they use their official government email addresses, is yet another lie. Of course, that's not to say that some of these people weren't law enforcement or infiltrators for various different clandestine agencies, but if they were, they certainly didn't use their FBI.gov email address for the sign-up page, people.
I would
Because that would
imagine.
be a ridiculous thing for someone like that to do. Like, patently absurd, if you really think about it. Regardless, the downfall of 4chan is going just about how anyone reasonable would expect it to go. Plenty of legacy media outlets have already covered this, but something I found to be particularly funny came from Reuters. Quote, "Messages sent to 4chan's press email went unreturned. One of the 24 or so alleged moderators purportedly exposed in the hack wrote back using their 4chan email address to say that the site had released a video statement. The user then pointed Reuters to an unrelated, explicit 4-minute video montage. A request for further information was followed by a link to a different video with similar content." End quote.
They just keep sending him freaking corn. Either corn or just a bunch of bad words. I don't know what the frick explicit would be in this particular.
I have to laugh at that, okay? Because it just so perfectly encapsulates the soul of that community. "I'm an official Reuters journalist. Let me reach out to the official press email for the Pepe 4chan trolls. Oops, they didn't say anything. Well, how about this moderator? Oh my, that's porn. Sir, I think you sent me the wrong video. Oh my, that's more porn. Let me write about this for my article in Reuters." Dude, it's just so
Basically.
ridiculous when you actually sit there and think about it happening. Like, the guy, the journalist, doing the thing that he said. Like, it's just so absurd.
It's like, and then the worst part is that then the journalist is gonna act like he's a victim when it's kind of like, why the hell would you even engage this guy? Like, he said after the first time he sent you corn, just don't talk to him anymore. The guy's a lunatic. Like, come on.
It's
Why are you
really
putting yourself in
interesting
this
to me because
situation?
I didn't know about Soyjack Party before all of this. I don't really keep tabs on that part of the internet, I guess. But for a lot of people, 4chan is like the big bad internet boogeyman. That's actually not the case at all. The moderation staff on 4chan made efforts to implement rules and absolutely suspended people or handed out permabans. But Soyjack Party is not like that. As far as I can tell, anything goes. So it's not exactly surprising that when you create splinter communities, because the members of those communities are too, dangerous, unfiltered, rude? I don't know. They're too toxic for the main hub of 4chan. When you create splinter communities like that, it feels like just a matter of time before you end up losing if they decide to come after you. Just to clarify, I titled the video "The Downfall of 4chan, but I do think the website is coming back online. It's obviously coming back in some capacity at least. But they honestly can't keep doing what they were doing. For years and years and years, they just kicked the can down the road, allowing security and basic functions to essentially just fall apart, which ultimately allowed a hacker to not just gain access, but sit there inside their system for over a year. When the website comes back, it necessarily has to make a number of changes, or one,
I have to wonder if can they even do that while maintaining all the data they had before, or would it just no matter what, does it have to be a clean board, so to
this
speak?
stuff will just happen again, and two, people will no longer trust it, which may be a barrier for them to overcome regardless, that they may have difficulty with. Obviously, I think almost anyone using a platform like that will create a burner email address before they do, and use a VPN, like the special VPN deal I have for you down below in the description. But even then, a security breach like this takes time, costs money, and puts everyone involved on edge. Certainly a lot
Thank
of people
goodness he
out there
offered
are
us that
celebrating
VPN
all
so we can
this, and
protect
it
ourselves.
definitely makes for a good video, obviously. But the framing that I've seen from certain articles and online discussions is a little bit naive, I think. People want to participate in an ecosystem like 4chan. Like, there's a lot of them. A lot of people want to do that. And the people who do actively seek that out aren't just going to wake up the next morning after it gets hacked and say, "Oh, geez, guess I'll not do that anymore." No. They'll go to war. 4chan has notoriously battled against various other groups and communities at certain points in the past, and the result of this hack will certainly be a different community than before to some degree, in some ways, but it won't be gone. Even if the website never came back online, the people don't stop existing. They just migrate. Over time, they would find a new platform or make a new platform, and it would once again
Well, because it might
populate
be
itself
a
with
blue
familiar-
sky situation where they kind of were like, yeah, screw you, we're leaving Twitter, nobody cares, and they leave, and it's just kind of like, there's some people on Blue Sky, but nobody really, no one cares. No one cares about Blue Sky.
usernames, and similar behavior. It could be an established platform like Twitter, which I think is possibly the most likely if that were to happen, or it could be something else. But this idea that the forces of righteously moral victory have somehow found themselves a win from all of this is a little bit ridiculous in my view. Like, you didn't win. Something bad happened to people that you don't like, in a sense, but it's temporary. They can perceive it that way, I guess, if they want to, but what I see is a notorious website being subjected to a historic breach by a splinter community that they, I guess, deliberately alienated, which will become part of the Wikipedia history page, of course, but more so as a temporary downfall, or the fall of what was there and the rise of something new. I think that's probably the most likely. At the end of the day, it's a milestone in the history of a significant platform when it comes to internet culture. Like it or not, the website very much is significant in internet culture, and the resulting direction the website will now take remains to be seen. That's it. That's essentially the story. If you want to support the channel...
I mean, I feel like they're still gonna have their core favorite audiences. I mean, for the most part, I feel like the people aren't gonna stress nothing. Right, because, like, their information is safe. It's just the leadership. So, honestly, I think it's just a matter of time. At the end of the day, yeah, like, as long as they didn't get messed. That being said, it does suck that I feel like a lot of the freaking moderators are gonna be, like, they're gonna just not join anymore. They're probably gonna leave. Especially with all the harassment. But I feel like if they're smart enough, I mean, get a new email, you know? Or, for starters, use a work email. Like, or not a work email, but use an email you specifically made to moderate or for that purpose, you get me? So that if something bad like this happens, you just never gotta stress it.
Channel, check out the links down below. Special VPN deal if you want to go browse a message board like that. Locals and Patreon, monthly memberships, merchandise, social media, etc., etc. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching. Question everything, and have a nice night.
Bro, the more I look at giraffes, the more terrified they are. You ever seen a giraffe IRL? They're freaking huge. Imagine seeing one inside of, like, the mist? Like the pterodactyls
Guys,
from
we've got another
Jurassic
update
Park?
in the
Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!